Hi guys, my name is Cash and you're watching Cashed Out Cars. In today's video we have a very special budget project for my Miata back here. As you guys know, I love my Miata and I want to put the best of the best parts in it, which is why I went ahead and spent exactly $28 on a 7-inch touchscreen head unit for it. So this head unit is straight off of eBay. You could also get it from Amazon. I have the link in the description down below. And it is basically the cheapest of the cheap for head units, but I wanted to try it out. It has Bluetooth. I should be able to mirror my phone to it, and all in all it's just going to modernize this car a little bit and hopefully look great and work great. So with that said, let's dive into this package and check out what a $28 touchscreen head unit actually looks like. Alright, let's open this thing up. Honestly, the package is fairly light. It's definitely a lot lighter than the current head unit that's in the car, but we're going to open it up and see what the actual build quality looks like, see what the box looks like, and go from there. So opening this up, we have a very generic looking box inside. That's what the actual box looks like. It looks like a fairly cheap part. Obviously it is made in China and the box is just a little bit crushed, but I'm going to open it up and make sure there's no damage. But this is it. This thing is light and we're just going to open it up and see what comes in this box. Alright, right on top here we have a bunch of connectors and different wires that comes with it. This particular head unit also comes with this backup camera here that I may or may not install, but it does come with it. One thing to note is the plate on my backup camera here. The mounting plate is already pretty damaged, but since I didn't buy this for that plate, I'm not too worried about it, and this was just sort of a little bonus. Getting into the rest of the stuff in the box here, that does not look damaged, and I'm going to go ahead and pull this out. And wow, this thing is extremely light. Here's the unit itself. I'm going to take it out of this plastic so you could see it. And I mean, yeah, it looks like a touchscreen head unit. So with that said, we're going to dive into start installing this into this car. One last thing that came in this box is some instructions and a user manual, as well as some connectors that I'm probably going to have to attach and solder together. So here is everything that came in the box. I know I'm going to get some criticism for putting this right on my paint, but honestly, this is a car that's meant to be driven and enjoyed, and a couple tiny little things on the paint doesn't matter to me. It's already all scratched up in different places. So anyway, here's what we got. There's the box. Here's the unit itself. Here's the connectors, I think for the backup camera, but I'm going to have to look into it just a little bit more here. And here's the connectors that will actually go to the unit. And there's the backup camera, which, like I said, came with a bent mounting plate, but I'm not too worried about that. One thing I also forgot to mention in all the excitement of getting such a cheap part and seeing if it works is this does also come with this little remote there, but I don't really expect to be using that too much. Alright guys, for the next exciting part of this video, we're going to be looking at the instruction manual here. And I'm not going to go through this whole thing because I'm going to show you how to install it, but my favorite part of this whole manual, otherwise it may cause short circuits on the radio because the cable order is not correctly matched. So we're going to look out for those short circuits. We're going to make sure we do this right because if we want a circus, we want a tall one. Alright, so now that you saw the radio, we need to finish getting my old radio out of this car here. If you have a Miata and you're interested in how to get everything off to this point, I have a video on my channel showing how to remove the center console, the tombstone, and those vents there, which all need to come out. And now we could continue working on this radio here. So I just pulled out this wire, which I believe is the antenna wire. And next up, we have to remove the actual harness here. There's just one clip right there that should just pull right out. There we go. And let's see what's left connected to this radio here. Alright, everything else on this head unit, which was upgraded at one point on this Miata, is stock and disconnected. So now what I'm going to do is unscrew everything that holds it on and free this up from this tombstone. Alright, so now I was able to pop this cover off. We won't be needing this because the new radio is a double DIN and this is a single DIN. And luckily we won't be needing it because it's already broken already from the previous owner. And now we could go ahead and slide that tombstone right off. So this is how the head unit's going to sit in there. I might have to make some sort of custom panel to finish this off, but it fills the space fairly well right there. I might need to order some sort of chassis to put this head unit on, because right now I don't have anything to actually hold the unit in place once it's in. But I'm going to get it wired up, test the functionality of it, and then focus on mounting. Alright guys, it is a new day and I am diving into getting this new radio all wired up here. So what I did was I found a wiring diagram for a Miata. This Miata has two different wiring harnesses here, and I went ahead and took a note of which wire is where in the harnesses, and I wrote everything down here so I know what is what. So there are a couple wires that don't really do anything. There's this green wire on a Miata that doesn't do anything, and there's also this black and red wire, which is a day and night control for the brightness of the radio, I believe, and that also wasn't connected to my other aftermarket radio, so I don't think I'm going to use that. From there, I went ahead and made a note of which wire goes where into this aftermarket harness. Now, this is the harness that was already on the other aftermarket radio that was in this car. So I went ahead and made a note of that and basically converted what is on this harness to what is on this harness. So now I know what is going to be going straight into my aftermarket new radio that's over there that we're going to be putting in this car. If you have a Miata and you're wondering what is what on it, this is exactly what each wire does, unless your car is messed up with wiring. I have read some reports that Miatas, especially with headrest speakers, have some problems with wiring, but this is for the main harness, not one that I believe would be for the headrest speakers, so you should be in good shape if you just go off of this for your main harness. The next thing I'm going to go ahead and do is cut off all the wires that go to the old harness for the other aftermarket radio here. So I'm just going to go ahead, use some snippers, and cut everything off. And I'm going to go through and do that for all of these wires and then get back to you. The next thing I did here is I went ahead and I labeled every single wire coming out of the aftermarket unit here that I need. These Miatas are extremely simple with their audio systems, and they really only have two speakers, and mine's an old one that doesn't have headrest speakers to start, and I also have race seats in my car. So there are only two speakers, so I need to use these middle wires here and then a couple of power wires over here. And I laid that all out once again in my notebook so I knew what was going on. And the next thing I need to do is match up these wires here to these wires coming off of that harness, and then we could begin connecting everything. One thing to note here is this new aftermarket harness that came with this new radio is actually quite nice here, and all the wires on it are pre-stripped on the end and you just need to pull it off. So the plastic covering is already all sliced, and you literally just need to pull off the wires that you need. So that's pretty awesome. I'm going ahead now and pulling off the power wires and the ground wires, and that's the first thing I'm going to hook up to see if this radio will turn on. And then once I get it to turn on, I'm going to go from there and hook up the speaker wires. Alright guys, so now I have all of the wires that need to be hooked up to power this thing hooked up. I'm going to put the key in the ignition and see if the screen on this radio actually comes on here. Alright, so right now I got power to it and nothing's coming on, so I'm going to check my... Oh, it is coming on. Alright guys. So there we go. The unit is on. That's good news. Sorry for the buzzing. I still have to pull the fuse on this alarm on this Miata. But anyway, the screen's on. I'm going to start to set this thing up and hook up the rest of the speaker wires and then do some legit connections on there. And then this unit is going to be good to go. To connect everything here, I'm using these twist-on wire connectors. These things are really straightforward to use. You just put them over both wires and then twist clockwise. And it tightens down and it seals everything up and makes sure that everything is well connected. Alright guys, I've got all the speaker wires hooked up now. I'm going to try to get this radio on again and see if I could get my phone connected to it with Bluetooth. And then I'm going to see how this thing actually sounds and if it works. The audio quality in Miatas is pretty trash to start, so we're going to see if this sounds okay through here. I definitely don't expect it to sound excellent, and I didn't anyway because it is such a cheap unit. So to turn this thing on, you just press this power button over here. And there we go. We got sound and the volume control works, so that's a great start here. To change the source, I honestly don't really know how. This is going to take me a second. There's no antenna installed, so I don't anticipate picking anything up here. Bluetooth is installed. I'm going to see if I have to go on here and just connect to it. That's probably what I have to do. Alright, so I'm on my phone. There's a thing that says car Bluetooth. I'm connecting to that. Alright, I'm connected, so let's see how it sounds. Oh, I'm on mute still. Right now I'm getting a whole lot of nothing. Alright guys, so that was not the unit's fault. That was completely my fault that I was getting a whole lot of nothing. To choose what input you're on, you have to just click down on the volume button. So we have FM, and through that, obviously we're getting nothing. I don't have the antenna connected. AV in, there's no aux, so there's nothing there. And then we go over to Bluetooth here, and we're connected just fine. So, like I said, the sound quality isn't fantastic, but the speakers in this Miata pretty much suck to start. And so far, I'm actually pretty impressed for 28 bucks. You get a nice big screen, you get Bluetooth connectivity, and all in all, honestly, I'm pretty happy so far. Also, I did purchase a warranty with this radio that cost, I think, $250, and it's a 3-year warranty, so if anything breaks with this unit, I could send it back and they'll fix it or send me a new one. So, for the money, I would definitely recommend this. So guys, I was so excited to get this thing in and working. I honestly completely forgot that it was touchscreen, and you could select your inputs at different places. You could click on home. You could select your sources this way, like I showed you before. And no matter what, you could just go back to home. So if you're on Bluetooth here and don't really like how that looks, because that's not really great looking, you could click on home and then select whatever you want on here. I'm going to have a much more in-depth guide on what all the settings do on this, but for now, I'm going to wrap up this video. Please like this video if you liked it and subscribe for more. If you're interested in getting this specific head unit, I have it linked below to where you could get it. Let me know what you think. Let me know how long you think this is going to last, if you think it's totally worth getting a more expensive head unit or not, and I basically just want to hear your opinion. So, alright, so one quick thing before I completely wrap up this video is I am extremely impressed that for $28 you could get something that plugs right in, has a nice big screen, has touch screen that so far doesn't seem like it sucks. It has Bluetooth, and it just looks pretty good. So all in all, I'm extremely happy with this. This is actually one of my favorite things that I've bought for this car, I think. And value-wise, right now it seems through the roof. So stick around if you want to see a full review on this, but for now, I'm extremely happy.